What if I told you that photography could change the way you experience the world around you? Not just how you take pictures, but how you see, and I mean really see, what's in front of you. Chances are you've never really stopped to think about it, but that's exactly what I want to show you. Photography isn't just about capturing moments, it's about noticing them. And when we start paying attention, something shifts. The question is, can this simple act of noticing help us understand life more deeply? So what I've realized is that photography isn't just about creating. It's about reflecting the creativity that's already present in the world. As a believer in Christ, I believe that every light, every shadow, and every color was designed by Him. And as image bearers of God, we're naturally wired to notice, appreciate, and even take part in that creativity. Ultimately, we create because we were made in the image of the Creator. For a long time, I thought photography was all about getting the technical stuff right. You know, composition, lighting, camera settings, all that stuff. And of course, those things matter. They're a big part of what makes a photo look good. But even when I got everything technically right, I still felt unsatisfied. I was thoughtlessly taking photos, and this led to nothing ever feeling meaningful. Everything seemed too boring, too ordinary, or just not worth photographing. But the whole time, the problem wasn't the location or the subject, it was how I was choosing to look at it. It's not about forcing yourself to be wowed by every single scene you come across. It's about being open to noticing what you usually overlook and finding something worth capturing in unexpected places, ones that may seem ordinary at first. This is a free focus lens I picked up for around like $20. It's basically the lens taken from a disposable camera and 3D printed onto a lens cap. Yeah, so there's not much control with this whatsoever, but maybe that's the best part. At some point, I found that photography wasn't just changing how I took pictures, it was changing how I saw life itself. It reminds me that perspective matters. A photo isn't just about the subject, it's about how you see it. And life works the same way. Shifting our perspective and trusting that God has a purpose in everything, even in our struggles, helps us live with more peace and gratitude. This is harder than I thought it would be. I didn't think it would be this hard to take photos with the Oreo Lens, but the same goes for patience and timing. Sometimes you have to wait for the right light or the right moment to capture something more meaningful. In the same way, life doesn't always unfold on our timeline, but trusting God's timing can lead us to the most meaningful outcomes. The Bible talks about this all the time, how we're called to renew our minds, to shift our perspective, to see beyond the surface. And photography, in its own way, became a tool for that, a reminder that there's always more happening than what we first notice. Alright, real talk. This wasn't part of the plan for the video originally, but I do feel it is worth sharing. I want to be open with you because I want this journey to be about us growing creatively through faith together. And that means sharing the things I learn, including the mistakes I make along the way. So obviously, I went out to take photos for this video. You saw a few of them earlier, and looking back now, they're actually not that bad, but in the moment, I was really struggling to, find anything I liked. I've been talking about how photography teaches patience and perspective, but when I was out there, it just felt like those ideas just slipped away and I just started focusing on the wrong things. I slowed down, tried new angles, basically did everything right, but still nothing stood out. And honestly, I started getting pretty frustrated. At some point I had to ask, am I even enjoying this, or am I just trying to force something to happen? Like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself to get a good photo? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I wasn't just making a video, I was trying to prove something to myself, that I could get a great shot even with a $20 lens. And with that mindset, it just started to cloud the reason I started this in the first place. It's easy to think that if you don't capture something amazing, if you don't come back home with like 200 amazing shots, then the day went to waste. But You know, that's not true. Creativity, whether it's photography or anything else, shouldn't be forced, and a lot of times it can't be. A little controversial, I know. Some days you get 10 amazing shots, other days maybe 1, other days maybe none. That's just how it goes sometimes. It was just one of those days, and honestly, in the end, I needed it because it made me realize that I was focusing on the wrong things. I was so focused on trying to get the best shots that for a moment, I forgot why I was doing this in the first place, to glorify God through my art, whatever that may look like. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. It was never about the perfect shot, it was about creating with the right heart. And through all the frustration, God reminded me of that. You know, it's okay to let go of control and trust that even when things don't go as planned, there's still value in the process. At the end of the day, I still got to spend a beautiful day outside with my family doing something I love. The photos didn't turn out how I hoped, but the day turned out exactly what I needed it to be. And I'm so thankful I get to share that with you because sometimes it's the moments we least expect that teach us the most.
Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind blow through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens tomorrow? I turn to you and hope you can guide the way. Sometimes I give up, just wanna be on my own. Even in the darkest times, you give me hope.
For me now, photography isn't just about creating. It's a way to slow down, be present, and appreciate God's creation. Because through it, God reminded me that beauty isn't in chasing perfection. It's in recognizing His design in the everyday. Photography became a way to reflect His creativity, and the more I leaned into that, the more it changed how I saw the world. I became more aware, more intentional, and more grateful for the small things I once overlooked. It was like developing a sharper photographer's eye, not just for pictures but for the world around me. And when we take the time to notice, we realize that life isn't about waiting for the big, perfect moments. It's about noticing the small everyday ones, just as God intended. Alright. I actually like it. You know, the photos on their own might not look all that special, but I think together they form something quite nice. And I think there's something to take away from that because life can be a bit like that too. You know, even when there are certain moments that feel off or even bad, we can trust that they're part of a bigger purpose or picture, we just don't see it. But when we look back, we can often see how God used those moments to help us grow, and we can be thankful for them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!